I'm in Virginia Beach with a native Virginia Beach guy. This is Derek Bort. He is a famous Hollywood director. I mean, everybody knows.
Know about that,
everybody here knows who you are already. Everybody at Wavy knows who he is. But yeah, so I first saw you do The Joneses a while ago, and I know I've seen some other films that you had, like Iron Nation. I heard a lot about the short Iron Nation. We'll talk about all those.
Okay.
But right now you have a big movie coming out, so that's what brings us together. But before we talk about the films, let's go back and talk about Derek a little bit and how, what Hampton Roads kind of means to you. So I know your family. Let's talk about your family. First of all, you have kind of a famous brother in the surf world. So you guys kind of have a...
Yeah, I'm kind of more known as Jason Bort's brother.
I was going to say that might be something, especially here, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And so tell me about your family unit, like growing up here.
Well, I grew up here in Virginia Beach and pretty much surfed with my brother every day, about 1,000 feet that way, and went away to school, went to New York, went to LA, and came back here. And my wife and I decided that this is where we wanted our kids to grow up and where we wanted to live, even though there's a lot of travel involved in work for me. I try to bring everybody when I can, but it's where we want to live. So
where'd you meet your wife?
She's from here as well.
Is she?
She's from here as well, yeah.
Okay, good. So everybody's been here, and then talk me through a little bit of your timeline. So I know, like, you grew up here, you graduated from First Colonial, is that
FC,
right?
yeah,
First Colonial.
85.
85. I see I'm Churchland, 87. Then what happened? Where'd you go to school? What'd you do after high school?
I went to Old Dominion undergrad, got a Bachelor of Fine Arts, painting.
Painting. Does everybody know that? Like now, when you think
now
about
they do, I guess.
when you think about the director thing, you don't necessarily think about painting. So tell me how that came about. Was that something you did young?
Yeah. It's interesting how I hear from people. There's so many people working as filmmakers that have very diverse backgrounds, from literature and history degrees, philosophy, psychology, and painting. So. I just think that it's kind of something I did. It definitely informs everything I do now in terms of the way I think I look at things. And
well, as a director, shot composition and stuff like that, I'm sure it kind of plays in.
Yeah, composition, color. It's all comes from the same place, and just add the element of time and movement to it, and that's film, really.
So what did you think you were going to do with that degree? Did you think, I'm going to be a painter, that's my life's work?
I'd be some kind of artist in terms of, painting, multimedia, something like that, And after I graduated, I moved to LA, got in a good gallery, and was all of a sudden at 22 feeling like I was kind of on my way, and then the art market crashed pretty quickly, and I was bartending.
Does everybody's Hollywood story have to include bartending?
Absolutely.
It does.
After a while, I was talking to a friend who was at film school in New York, and I just kind of sparked to it and decided to go for it, and moved to New York, went to Parsons, the new school. They have a great media studies film program, and next thing you know, I'm working for Sony Studios in production there, and worked on some just unbelievable projects there. And
in production, what exactly did you do?
well, I started off kind of on a fluke as a production designer, art department, and then all of a sudden, anything and everything that came up there, they were hiring me for, from production assistant work to whatever I could find there in terms of art department, PA, or I learned how to edit there, and a lot of us would stay after work and use the equipment because we had such great equipment, so we would work on our own projects,
right.
and it was a great learning experience, great fun time, and
what kind of, was there any movies or projects that we would know the name of that you worked on way back then?
We shot all the MTV Unplugged
Yeah.
there, which was amazing. Just the people that were in and out of there on a weekly basis,
Yeah.
just to be able to watch some of the rehearsals we watched and be around, on any given day, at the studios there. Michael Jackson might be recording there. Bob Dylan would come in. David Byrne.
Were you like, there goes David Byrne?
Oh yeah, standing at the front door finishing my coffee one day, and up comes this guy on his bicycle, and it's David Byrne walking right in the studio. And so there were a lot of people like that. I got to see Jeff Buckley a lot perform at the studios before he really kind of blew up, and you name it, they were there. Bob Dylan was there. I mean, it was a very cool time.
That's amazing. So you did that, and you were in New York. What brought you back here? Because I know you came to Wavy after Sony, right?
Yeah, I did. It was a combination of things. It was I got an offer at Wavy. Somebody had seen something some tape that I made or something when I was at Sony, and I got a call. This is Lyle Banks from Wavy TV in Portsmouth, Virginia, and we want to offer you a job. It's kind of interesting to me, and I sort of had a few other things that looked like they were going to happen at the time, so I kind of dragged my feet a little bit with the Wavy thing, and then all of a sudden it just sort of made sense, and I came home and was thrown into a newsroom environment where I was the foreigner.
Whole new world of deadlines.
I was treated very. It was definitely rough to find my niche there, but eventually made some great friends there, and
we moved into like the 90s now, like early 90s, mid 90s, something like that.
Moved into the 90s, yeah, mid 90s.
Okay.
We were still editing on tape there.
Yep, tape to tape.
Tape to tape, and I got to do a lot of fun things. It was basically go out and find something to report on today, and we need a story by 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and so I would go hang out at the Bingo Palace, or just whatever I could think of. I would just go hang out with my photographer, and we would shoot some stuff and come back and cut it together, and all of a sudden it started getting fun because there were no rules really except for just have something ready, and I never did anything that they refused to put on the air.
That's good. Job security.
A
little bit.
Kind of, but it was fun. It was I met a lot of great people and learned a lot. I mean, I think the speed in which the newsroom works was really a whole different world for me.
Right.
And I definitely still apply a lot of those things today. Just in terms of how fast that moved in that world. It helped me a lot to sort of think quickly, act quickly.
And then you get your feet wet in the movie world a little bit with the Couch Critic.
I was taking all these people out to the movies every week and letting them give their own reviews of movies, and it turned out to be a very popular segment, which was fun. And I think the way that, not just with that segment, but a lot of other segments I did there, in order to try to sort of get everybody working with me there, I would invite the Chiron operator or the directors or whoever was working to kind of throw things up on screen whenever I was on the air. Like they would say weird things about me or they started getting into this like interactive thing, and I think it got everybody kind of on my side in terms of just having fun.
Yeah.
It turned out to be a lot of fun there, and it was, like I said, an experience I look back on fondly.
Yeah. And so Wavy, and then what happened? Because the Joneses didn't come out for a while, so there's a little missing Derek Bort time there.
It was certainly not a jump from local news to writing and producing and directing that film. There were, I guess, maybe 10 years in between, where I directed probably 1,000 commercials. And
lots of people get their start there.
Tried to keep opening doors and trying to make things happen, and that just happened to be a project that after I wrote it really opened a lot of doors, and next thing I know I was spending at least half my year in LA, and still took a while to get it made, and it was a great experience. It opened a lot of doors for me.
That we're talking about the Joneses.
Absolutely.
That starred Demi Moore and David Duchovny, among other people. And it was the first time that I had actually heard your name. that I remembered, because I know I had seen a little clip of you as a couch critic doing the couch critic segments, but I didn't tie them together until this. And I got to actually, it was me and Mal Vincent sitting in a theater by herself to watch the Joneses for a review that I did. And I thought, it always makes me feel good when I see somebody that's making it from here. Like, you know, when you grow up in an area, and it doesn't matter where it is, we're talking about Hampton Roads specifically, but when you grow up somewhere and you know you have a common backstory, you know, an area that ties you together, and you do that, it's like watching LaShawn Merritt at the Olympics win a gold medal. You kind of feel like we won, you know, and I kind of felt like that for you, like watching the Joneses and seeing the success of the Joneses. I'm not just saying that, like it just makes me excited for somebody to make it out of here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I find people all over the world that are from here that are doing amazing things. So it's really kind of whether it's sports or music world or film world, you know, there are just so many people from here that are out there doing great things. It is very inspiring, and it's I found that a lot of them are happy for each other in a way that they're very supportive, and you know, there is that sort of, you always hear, 757, you know, people say, it's like, it's a great sort of bonding thing, you know?
Yeah, I love it. So still talking about movies too, I know I appreciated so much that you worked on this short last year, and I want to talk about Birth of, it's Our Nation, right?
Right,
which is kind of an interesting take, which we'll tell everybody what it's about. It was set in Norfolk though, right?
It was, yeah. It was, so when the original Birth of a Nation film came out, it opened in Norfolk, apparently. Mm-hmm. And this is a short film that I worked on. I was invited to work on with the ODU film department. Yep. That David Mallon, who runs the film department, wrote this short as a kind of a reaction to that film. It's a short about a kid who wants to go see this movie and doesn't know what it's about, but it was hyped up so much. And
right. African American kid. He'll do anything to see this film because it's supposed to be the great, you know, the eighth wonder of the world is what, you know, however it was billed as the greatest feat, you know, since who knows what. But he'll do anything to go see it, and he finally, through a few different things he tries, he ends up getting to see the film, and it's kind of an eye-opening and dose of reality for him that the film was not what he thought it was. Right.
And this little short was a really great experience in that I got to cast actors out of New York. We had some really amazing talent on the film. We used a lot of crew from the ODU film department, which was great. And it was just kind of a labor of love for everybody. And now it's out there in the world and doing all these festivals, and it's winning all these awards, which is exciting. And you know, I'm just happy that they wanted me to be a part of it, and I try to work with ODU whenever I can, just because I really like what they're trying to do with their film department. Right. And you know, I think it's high level stuff that they're doing. It is, absolutely.
And that's one of the reasons I brought it up, was because twofold. One, because of the current climate and the new film coming out, and just the atmosphere of racial divide that we have in our country, and being able to see that little glimpse of what it was then and how this movie means something that's still relevant now, I think is really interesting. And the other reason I wanted to bring it up is because of ODU and your tie there. Do you think it's important as a filmmaker to keep giving back and inspiring and doing stuff with up and coming filmmakers?
I think that's important in anything. Mm-hmm. I mean, not just in my field, but along the way, I've had some great people give me their time, give me their advice, put energy into helping me, and I feel it's very important to do the same in return. I try to work with ODU whenever I can. We have a school here that not as many people know about it as they should, but the Governor's School for the Arts as well, which is really just people that come out of that school are doing amazing things in all, different industries: music, TV, film, dance, theater, you name it. So I try whenever I can to do something that hopefully inspires somebody else to want to do the same thing again, and just really as a way to pay back all the people that offered me their time when I would knock on their door or somehow get their phone number and ask for advice, and
they didn't hang up on you?
They didn't. No, I mean, a lot of people really took the time to really consider my situation, my place in the world, and what I was trying to do, and offered me advice and mentoring, and it's something I feel like I just naturally do in return.
Okay, let's talk about the new movie. The new movie is about to come out. I'm excited about this because I'm a child of the 80s, early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, when music meant a lot to me. And in this film, this new film is called London Town. It's playing in Hampton Roads starting Thursday, going through next week. It's really, at its core, about the music and how music kind of affects your life and kind of changes everything for you, or it can.
Yeah, I mean, the real core of the film is, I think, the power that music has to change your life. So I think that everyone can identify with it, whether it was that specific music being the Clash in this film like it was for me, or something completely different. I think the concept is universal. So
was the Clash your band?
Of course.
Of course. Well, I'm not going to say of course. I was a Duran Duran girl.
I got you.
Still in England, but so what do you think? Did you find that thing that you could identify with in these characters outside of the actual band, but more of how the music changed them?
Well, I think that as much as I'd like to think there's parts of my story in Shay, the main kid's story in this film, it's his story. I mean, it really is. It's the things he's experiencing in 1979 London are very different than the things that I was experiencing when I heard that same record in 1980 Virginia Beach.
Right.
You know, my semi-sheltered life at Lynnhaven Junior High School was probably nowhere near what Shay's dealing with in the film.
Right. In London Town.
But at the same time, when I put that record on for the first time, very quickly I realized this was the music I was supposed to listen to. And it had an effect on me. It still does. So that's really what the core of this movie is about. And like I said, I think everyone can identify with that in some way.
Yeah. What does it mean to you to come back here, have the film come back here in Hampton Roads to kind of premiere before the rest of the world even gets to see it?
I mean, it's huge to me. I mean, when I found out that the film was going to open in 10 cities on the 7th, New York, LA, and others, and they set my travel so that I would have to leave the next day to go to London for the big world premiere, which is going to be the big event, and then on to Rome there. And I knew that I wouldn't be able to make the Norfolk showing, which was supposed to be a couple weeks later, and I'd be gone. So I talked to IFC Films, the distributor, and said, is there any way you can do something in Norfolk before I leave for the New York opening? And thankfully, IFC and the Naro worked it out where they could open it up one day early. So the day before we open in New York and LA and all these other cities, the week before we open in London and Rome, we're opening in Norfolk, which is just such a great thing for me. Also because it's the Naro, which is a place that has played such a huge role in my love of indie film. I mean, that used to be my weekend was, see what bands were playing and what's playing at the Naro.
Yep.
And I saw so many of the indie films from the 90s and beyond that have really stayed so much a part of my life that it has a special place in my heart. So to open the film there is really a cool thing.
Yeah. So if people want tickets, they can still get tickets now for the premiere. Are there still tickets available for the premiere? Thursday night, October 6th is the premiere.
There are still some tickets available it's londontown.brownpapertickets.com for the Thursday night showing. And then Toast in Norfolk is doing a pre-movie event there from 5 to 7 with Commonwealth Brewing. That'll be kind of a cool thing we'll all be at. And then afterwards, Work Release is doing an after party. So it's a big night on Thursday night. But
I didn't get a ticket to that.
There's no tickets. You're there. Don't worry about it.
I'm in. Yeah,
and then for those who can't get into the Thursday night screening, the Naro is going to hold the film, run it through the weekend and next week. So there'll be plenty of opportunity to see the film.
Yeah. And I can't encourage... Look, I see films in all the different theaters around town. I've gone to all the theaters, but going to the Naro is just something. It's like a throwback for you. It's how film was supposed to be. You're in this It's almost like church, and I love like the Sunday morning film series,
Sure.
Church at the Flickering Lights, which is more my speed. But I love the atmosphere of the Naro. It's just a cool place to see a movie. So if you're going to see it, go see it at the Naro. Otherwise, it'll come back. It'll be back in. It'll play again here outside the Naro at some point, hopefully.
Maybe.
But don't wait. Go see it at the Naro so you don't miss it. Thank you for joining me and talking about it, and for everything that you're doing for our area. I wanted to ask you real quick before we go. Like, I just want to know some cool stuff. Like, what's your we're here at Commune in Virginia Beach, not far from the oceanfront, like you said. Where's the places that you hang out? Like, where are the places? What's your favorite things here in Hampton Roads?
Right here is probably one of my favorite places. I mean, I'm here a lot. This is kind of my home away from home these days. I love what they're doing here with the food. I love how they're sourcing their food locally, and as well as Virginia Beach. I mean, I kind of have my little circle of places right here in the neighborhood, in the what they're calling the Vibe District here in the south end of the beach, which is kind of enjoying a little renaissance of some sort.
It really is. It's a whole different kind of. It is a different vibe down here in the last few years, especially.
Yeah, it's cool. Hopefully, it'll keep growing, and there's artists and restaurants, and hopefully some cool new retail coming in, and it's great to be a part of this new thing happening in Virginia Beach. My office studio is right around the corner there, so I like the fact that it's a walking neighborhood too. So it's not like get in the car just to drive 2 blocks and.
Right, and you still live here. Like, that's the thing. Like, Hollywood can touch you, but you go there, but you come home too.
That's nice.
Which is pretty cool. Thanks so much.
Thanks
Good luck
for having
with the
me.
film. I can't tell you how excited I am to see it and be in the room and watch you watch it. Like, that's just going to be cool.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Good luck.
Thanks.